This year's winter season is absolutely stacked with killer openings. For whatever reason, the quality and quantity across the board this season has skyrocketed. So much so that it actually made choosing my favorite openings incredibly difficult, even for the honorable mentions. After many hours of discussion and some unfortunate cuts like DXD, Kotobuki, and Girly Air Force, I think I have a list of OPs that I'm fairly happy with. It's still very long though, so I'm gonna stop vamping now and let's just get right to the honorable mentions. Not as good as last season, but it still brings some smooth J-pop to a very rock-heavy genre. Hinomaru had my favorite opening of fall and doesn't quite live up to that here. Still, weird chorus aside, it brings enough hype to make it solid. Any other season, this makes the top list. I love BiSH, and this didn't miss out as much as they were just better openings. Listen to that guitar though. Another uplifting opening that perfectly matches the tone of the show. This probably makes it in a weaker season too. The fight animation is great and the full version of the song is a bop. Fairy Tail is somehow back again with an incredibly catchy pop song, once again proving that shonens will never have bad openings. It's not as heavy as the beginning would lead you to believe and actually has quite a nice groove to it. Not quite as stylish as the first opening, but that's a hard mark to reach. The song's good, the art's good, this is a good opening. Massive points for the violin intro. If it had kept that same energy throughout, it might have snuck in. Also wish the visuals were better. I'm already embarrassed enough that this is on here, but come on, listen to that song. This is completely out of left field. The song is fine, but the style is really, really good. I have no idea what this show is about. It's Nano. It's a Nano song. I'm obligated to put this on no matter the show, and if the style wasn't jarring, it probably would have been good enough to be in the top. That's 12 honorable mentions, and there were honestly still about 5 or 6 more I could have been talked into including. But as good as all those openings are, they're all missing something that the best openings this season have, whether that's style to accompany a good song or a better song to play off the animation. Now, aside from the occasional hyper-stylized opening, I personally almost always value music more than visuals, which you can see in the fact that the honorable mentions have some songs I really like but are saddled with weird CG. Still, above all, I value initial impact and replayability. Here's what I consider the best openings of winter 2019. The Oral Cigarettes are back with yet another banger of an opening. While it might not be as good as Noragami's, it has brass horns in it, which means it's automatically a good song. It starts out strong and hits a nice groove through the verses before coming back to punch you in the face in the chorus. I also actually really don't mind the style of this opening, except for the moments where they're like, hey look, it's our CG characters. There's some cool shots in silhouette and some imagery that enhance the experience. At the very least, this has gotten me excited to watch the show when it finally full releases on Netflix at the end of the season. This is our only real pop entry here, and it's solely on here because it's been stuck in my head for weeks. It doesn't necessarily do anything really unbelievable visual-wise. I like the style of how they show the different sisters when introducing them, but the song is just so good. It gets bonus points for being by the actual VAs from the show, and it's bright and cheery, and sometimes that's just what you need. This isn't a groundbreaking piece of cinema, but I keep listening to it anyway. Well, we got some rap on the list. Well, J-pop that has a rap verse in it. This is the rare instance where I actually like the song better with the opening than standalone. I like the song, but for whatever reason it just really syncs with the visuals, particularly during the chorus. My favorite part is actually the jump cut they throw in right at the end when Raphtalia grabs Nafumi's arm. Overall, it just gets the job done in all areas, and I applaud it for that. Oh, you thought I wasn't going to put a Kanabun song on the list. Well, to tip my hand a little bit, as soon as I heard the velvety tones of Meguro Taniguchi, I didn't have to watch the opening anymore. This was making the list. As you'll quickly learn, I'm a sucker for openings by bands I already like. But this is also a good opening in its own right. It has some cool imagery with the gears, the puppets, and the graveyard. This section, which is kinda just a less cooler version of this. Do you guys know the Silhouette's like my favorite opening of all time and maybe my favorite song of all time? Anyway, the song's really good, the visuals are engaging enough, I love camera turn transitions like this, and Kanabun.
Allow me, mister, oh mister,
We have a lot of rock on this list, so let's sit back and chill with a little bit of jazz real quick. The Kaguya-sama OP might not be as popular as a certain something else, but it's still one of the most unique openings of the winter. The style blows almost everything else out of the water, as the entire second half of the opening has shots that rival even Mob's insanity. This shot in particular is my favorite part, and all the shots where they're holding the different weapons have a humorous effect compared to the actual content of the show. The song itself fits the show really well and has the best groove of anything this season. It's not going to hit you in the face like some of the other shows on here, but it's going to get you up and out of your seat. Okay, now we've reached the heavy hitters. This is actually the last opening on here from a show I'm not currently watching, but that's just how good it is. I have a soft spot for openings that use color coding as a stylistic choice, and that comes through in spades in my favorite shot of this opening. The song is just jamming the entire time, the long sweeping pans to establish characters, and then finally whatever the hell was happening in the fight scene at the end. Also, if you put running to the BPM of the song in your opening, I'm always going to like it. Black Clover does not have a bad opening. They are now 6 for 6, bringing straight fire for a show that's okay. I don't mind it. But this is by far the best Black Clover opening. It's by Kankaku Pierro, who 1. Did the first opening of the show, and 2. Are a band I really like. The guitar build-up at the beginning is a full 15 seconds and launches you into these vocals that made me sit up the first time I saw this. On initial impact alone, this is top tier. There's also a spectacular use of bright colors contrasted with muted backgrounds, as well as the color usage overall that really makes part of this opening pop. Also, the fight scenes are really well animated, which is not something I can say for the rest of the series. This doesn't go as hard as some of the other openings this season, but it's a bop. Myth and Roid are back, providing us with yet another great opening song following up on ReZero and Yoju Senki, and it really captures the mysterious essence of the show. The highlight of the visuals is the middle of the opening and the scenes featuring the mirrors and shadows, which is then perfectly contrasted by the bright pink of the second to last full shot. There's clearly a lot of hidden meaning here throughout, and it's also very confusing, just like the show. If I was rating this purely on song, it would probably be somewhere around Karakuri or Shield Hero. But just like in Season 1, the visuals elevate the rest of the experience. Remember earlier when I talked about color coding characters? Well, it's back, and once again, it's very good. Every shot in this opening is fantastic, like this one, this one, this one, and this one. I could probably spend the entire video just talking about the way they put this together. And then don't forget, they cap it off with a great fight scene that also uses color coding. It's basically everything I could ever want visually from an opening. I'm also probably underselling the song here. It doesn't carry as hard as some of the other songs here do, but the opening guitar riff is really good and it moves at a solid pace overall. If it's not already there, it's pretty close to a 100. This is by far the most unique opening this season. It starts off pretty slow and then builds up to that glass-shattering note that Avu of Queen Bee just absolutely crushes, and then the hype arrives in truckloads during the guitar solo. The visuals are overall stunning, as they attempt to pull off what appears to be a parchment paper look with the background that causes the characters to really pop off the screen. It also captures the pain and anguish of the show very well, even if the song is fairly upbeat. This is the underground #1 opening of the season, and if you're not watching Dororo, you should do that. Listen to the saxophone! Listen to it! We've already gone over the fact that I love me some brass horns in a rock song, but saxophone is also pretty high up there. It just goes from 0 to 100 so fast and punches you in the face immediately. Then it follows up with a really nice looking visuals that don't actively give anything away about the show, but do kinda wink at you if you know what's going on. Also, guess what's back? Our good friend Mr. Color Coding. What ultimately makes this such a good opening though is the song. Overworld have provided great songs from openings before and kill it here, particularly since they just go as hard as they possibly can, unlike in the My Hero opening they did. The saxophone is the clincher to make it unique, but the chorus just pops off when combined with the parkour visuals. I also haven't even mentioned the fact that it has a hook that just lodges in your head. It's one of the best uses of Nas I've ever seen. Watch this show, listen to this song, it's fantastic.
未熟無情されど美しくあれ
Somehow, someway, Promised Neverland is not in the top spot. It's close, it's very close, but Domestic Girlfriend snags it by a hair. It continues the trend of openings this season that start slow and then just slap you around starting around the 15-second mark. But this one doubles down on that. After the full instrumental comes in, it backs off a little bit during the verse before ramping it back up for the chorus, which is by far the best part of the song. Visual highlights include the shot of the MC underwater and then this like half a second shot that is my favorite thing from any opening this season. It just pops in right before we hit the climax with the movement and the head turns. I just want to keep showing it because it's just so good and I wish it was on screen for longer. What puts it over the top is just the raw emotion that Minami sings this with. Like, listen to this. Outside of that, the use of colors is superb, with a lot of black and white being contrasted with the sharp red of the lipstick or the clear colors of the MCs at the end. The water droplets, the rain, the running because I love running to the beat of a song. I'm just gushing at this point, but this also takes the award for biggest surprise and biggest initial reaction from me when I first watched it. I'm not sure if I can vouch for the show as much as I do for this opening, but no matter where the actual plot ends up, I will always have this perfect minute and a half of music. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna keep this short so I don't ramble, but I was really happy with the way this came out. I'm excited for stuff I have moving forward, and don't forget to, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Anyway, thanks for everything, and bye!